Good evening and welcome to Lifestyle, where we work with your mind, body, and spirit. And the good news is this evening we have a health coach who are going to start presenting the program with us. But let's start with the Bible study. And last week we talked about Esther, and let me just get this thingy on the screen. And this evening, we're going to go on with Esther. If you send me a WhatsApp with your number, I'll add you to the group and you'll get access to all the various notes and things from every session. So you're welcome to do that. Last week, we talked about Esther and how she prepared herself for the king, how she actually got married to the king. And the fairy tale did not stop there. It's actually quite a long story further on. I'm just going to remove the notes. There you go. On those notes, you'll see these. It's a goal chart for every day. So, I would like to try and motivate you to do something nice for somebody every day. Make a decision to do that, even if it's just paying somebody a compliment or sending in a message to say that you think of them. And then do something nice for yourself. It's just even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, just do something for yourself. Do some exercise, start slow, and then increase it a little bit and look at what you eat. But the health coach is going to sort all the eating areas in our lives out. Okay, let's look at Esther 3 from verse 7. And this week's Bible study, the little devotionals, is about this. And you can write in your journals whatever you believe God is telling you. So Esther is now married, and Haman, second in charge, is quite a man. He really thinks a lot about himself, and he wants everybody to bow in front of him. But Mordecai, who is Esther's uncle who raised her, because remember she was an orphan, refused to do that. Now, Haman knew that Mordecai was a Jew, and he didn't like the Jews. But it's a long history where in the Bible where the different people didn't like each other, and there was always clashes between them. So Haman didn't want to only kill Mordecai, he wanted to kill all the Jews. But remember, he didn't know, and nobody knew, that Esther is actually also a Jew. And in those days, they used to, it's like playing the lotto, They used to cast a vote or whatever to see when to do what. And Haman decided to cast and to see when he can eliminate all the Jews. And this was about the second month of the year, and it fell onto the 12th month of the year. So he sent out all these letters stating to everybody in the kingdom that he wants to kill the Jews on that date. But what he didn't know was that Esther came to hear of that, and she decided to let the Jews know. And she got them all to go into a, oh my goodness, now I don't know what a row in English is. To, if somebody is going to die, I'll think of that word just now. And anyway, so they all started wearing black clothes and ash on their heads, and they were getting ready for what is going to happen. But then Esther in preparation of what to do, she started praying to God, and then she started to fast. And she also got all the Jews to do that with her, and even the people who worked for her in the palace. And remember, they weren't Jews, but they loved Esther so that they did it with her. And she started talking to God, and God gave her a plan. And part of the plan was to go and talk to the king. Now, at that stage, Esther hasn't seen the king for about 30 days. And you know what it's like if your husband avoids you for so long. You start feeling, perhaps I'm not good enough. Perhaps I'm not beautiful enough for him. Maybe there's somebody else. So she had her doubts that she had to go and talk to him. And besides that, to go to the king in the throne room, you don't just enter and talk to the king. You have to wait to be invited, or you have to ask to be invited, and then the king decides if you want to invite you. So Esther decided to just walk into the throne room after all the fasting and everything. And the king looked up, he saw her, and he waved his scepter at her. Now, that meant that she could come nearer to him and talk. He's actually, there's goodwill for her. And when he did that, he didn't only do that, but he also said, what do you want, Esther? You can ask anything, even half of my kingdom. And Esther said, I don't want anything. I just want you and Haman to come and eat with me, to come and dine with me. That's all. And the king said, it's fine, we'll come. And this is how God used this Jew orphan lady from the rural areas, bring her into this palace to save his people. And she was brave enough to listen. She prepared. She did what God wanted from her. And she actually saved her people like that. But until 4 verse, that is where we're going to read up until. Do I have it right now? Yes. And so you're going to read your devotionals and you're going to see what God tells you about this piece, because he doesn't tell everybody the same things. And now I would like to introduce to you to our health coach. Our health coach has 3 little children, so she's making a video. She's not going to be live. Otherwise, she'll be far too tense with all 3 of them wanting attention, which is very unfair. So let's listen to Annika and hear what she has to say. She's only going to introduce herself. Okay, let's get to Annika.
My name is Annika. I'm a mom of 3, and hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Annika. I'm a mom of 3, and I live in the Kathu area in the Northern Cape. And tonight I'm just going to tell you a bit about me, what I am busy with, and how this program can maybe help you in your weight loss or health journey. So I have a background in teaching. I used to be a teacher, and I taught visual arts and English for about 8 years, I think. Part of that was being an assistant at schools, and another part of that was just being a teacher. So right now I am a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my children, and yeah, I'm just a homemaker. I say just, but that's a big work. So yeah, I've been a part of Herbalife for about 5 years, and I mainly started doing it because of my really bad eating habits. And also, another reason was that I wanted an extra income. But tonight, I'm just going to touch on my health journey and, what really helped me about this program. Sorry, just a bit of change of scenery here. Um, but yeah, so that is what happens on a 5-day challenge. And, if you ever want to try it out, let me know. Like I said, it's 260 Rand. Or if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me. My number is, I think, at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, I would definitely recommend anyone give it a try. So yeah, next week I'll get into a bit more details about how we eat and why we eat like that. So yeah, it would be nice to see you next week again. So my journey started in 2020 with Herbalife, and I didn't really have a lot of weight to lose. Um, I just had really bad eating habits. So because I'm a mom, I would usually, reach for sugary things or caffeine. And on top of all that, I'm a very anxious person. So, sugar and caffeine is the worst thing you can give to someone who is anxious. So I was doing this program for two things, to lose a bit of weight and to get my healthy habits, sorted out, because it was not helping. It was not helpful for my mental health. So I was following an old colleague of mine on Instagram, and I saw, she was working from home. That's one thing that I wanted to do. And she was looking great. Like, she lost weight, she was looking happy and healthy. And I was like, this is what I want to be. So I contacted her and I was like, what is this that you're doing? What is this Herbalife thing? I don't know anything about it. Um, you know, Explain it to me. And, she told me everything and I was like, okay, let's do this. So she put me on a 5-day challenge and, I did that with other people and it was just really, really fun. So what happens on a 5-day challenge is that she coaches you on that 5-day challenge on, how to eat, how you must use the products. And what's so nice is that you do it on a sample pack. So it's like 260 Rand. It's not expensive at all. And, after the 5 days, you can decide if you want to continue with the program or not. And she gives you so much information, and if you have a question, she answers it. And there's other people with you on the group. It's run on WhatsApp, and that's really helpful because it's not something you do alone. It's like a fun challenge, and every day you get a different challenge. It's like eating enough snacks or snacks with protein in, drinking enough water, working out. So it's really the small steps that you take to becoming a healthier you. And I really, really enjoyed it. And, upon finishing my first 5-day challenge, I invited people to it with me because, it's just a given. Your results, or you're more likely to achieve your results that you want if you do it with other people, because they motivate you. So, I've invited my friends and my family, and in the process, I, lost a lot of body fat, fat that I didn't even know I had to lose. And I started building muscle, lean muscle, which was great. And my mood brightened. I started becoming more active, going from somebody that wouldn't exercise to jogging 6 kilometers a day was like, it's unheard of. So it just goes to show that, those results or goals are achievable for everybody. You just need the right nutrition plan, the right, help, and then you will achieve it. And I'm so thankful for the community that I had to achieve it. And this was in the middle of COVID, so that just helped a lot.
Okay. I must tell you, I started the program, Annika's program, and it's a lot more fun doing it this way. You're hardly even aware that you're on a diet. I think she did mention that she doesn't want you to buy the whole packet just to start off with. Get the 320. I think it's for 320 Rand to get the starter kit, and it's just for a week, and you see how it works with you. And she actually guides you through either weight loss or gaining weight or being healthier. And she makes it so much fun. She's there the whole day telling you, now it's time to drink, now it's time to eat, now it's time to snack, and what you can snack, and the importance of protein. So yeah, it really makes it fun and mind-blowing. I never knew it could be like that. It's like a personal dietitian in your house holding your hand. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about temperaments. It's going to be over the next few weeks, and we're just going to do the introduction today. I'm going to put something on the screen. Just be patient because we have a problem with the system this evening. Okay, there you go. Now, there's 4 different temperaments or main temperaments, and one of them some people called yellow, green, red, and blue, and the others type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Now, this is not anything new. This comes from way, way before Christ, about 600 Rand before, 600 years before Christ, where people started looking at why there's different personalities, what it entails, and then they also start looking at the diseases that the different personalities get, or temperaments, however you want to put it. And it's very interesting. I'm going to put it for you on this on the notes as well. Is that even your psychological illnesses like depression and stuff like that varies from the different personalities. So it's a very, very interesting thing to know about. Now, Tim LaHaye made it a Christian thing quite a few years ago, and then lots of other people has used it. Um, even Lynette Beer uses it. She calls it yellow, green, red, and blue, although the names of that has been used over and over again. I believe in the system from Carol Tuttle, because Carol works from a point of what is your nature. It's in your nature. Because, see, I might be a yellow person, but because of trauma to try and protect myself, I now live like a red or a blue or a green or any other way. So, and then also people tend to give you list of different words, and you have to choose the words, and you don't really understand them. And then they talk about things like you've got to be goal orientated, and what does goal orientated really means? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you do things. What is your inner nature? And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to give you an overview of the 4 different types. There's a movie Inside Out. If you've seen it, it's like what goes on your head. And it's really quite a good idea of the 4 different personalities, because everybody has a little bit of everyone in them. It's just one main one that stands out. I apologize for not having it in English. The reason for that is the system is really going crazy this evening, and I have no idea where it is. Okay, so the yellow person is the person that's very optimistic. They've got lots and lots of, they believe in themselves. They believe that they're nice enough and good enough. They're very emotionally strong people. So if you tell them, you look ugly, then they won't even take it in at all. They're very friendly. they're creative people, they're irrational, they're very on edge, they're very motivated, they're social beings, they cannot work with money, and they always hear from people, just calm down a little bit, just calm down. Now, I know other people say this, the yellow person is the class clown, they're loud, they take over. It's not true. The yellow person can be like that. It's a small amount of people that's like that. And because of all these things that people tell you about the different personalities, you think, oh, I can't be yellow because I'm not loud. But you see, this is why I'm saying it's about what is in your nature. And it's definitely, you don't have to be a clown or loud or a leader to be yellow. You could be very quiet, still sociable. It's more about the type 1 brings a light and bright energy into a room. We're going to talk about that still a little bit more. Then the green person, they're very relaxed. Ooh, and they have patience. They really love other people and care about them. They're very relaxed. They love nature and animals, especially animals. They like to share with other people more emotional stuff than physical things. They love to make peace, and they're also very motivated. Now, green people are very soft-spoken. Looking at your red person or type 3, these are your leaders. They're very competitive, and they're driven, and they have a strong will of themselves. They've got lots of energy. They're very business-like people. They're aggressive, or they tend to come over as aggressive. They're very impatient, and these people have road rage. If they drive, it's like, get out of my way. This is your type 3 person. Then if we look at type 4, these are your perfectionists. They love having list of things. They're deep thinkers. They like statistics. They do things proper, and they're very organized. They love having things according to the alphabet, their books and things like that. They're very loyal people. They love facts, and they normally have a very good information about things. You can listen to them when they talk to you. Okay, so why do we need to know this? Why is it important? Because if I want to live a godly life, it's important that I know certain things about myself. For example, I'm red. So red it's not easy for them to say they're sorry. To have a godly life and be filled with the Holy Ghost, you have to learn how to say you're sorry and make a point of that. And you have to, when you work with people, try to note when you become too aggressive, because when you start talking with passion, it might seem to other people that you are very aggressive. And the other reason we need to know all these things is because you might be red and your husband blue. And I have a green daughter and a yellow daughter-in-law. So for all of us to get along, it's very important to understand the different personalities and how they actually operate. But we're going to talk about that a lot later. First of all, we need to get to know them. So you are going to make, in your journal, columns for yellow, green, red, and blue, and try and make it in that order, yellow, green, red, and blue, because we're going to start making ticks now. You're going to look at this, and perhaps you have a very good idea where you fall. As we go along, you might feel, "Oh, now I'm feeling very uncomfortable here. I feel better here," which is fine. Not one of these are good and the others are bad. They're just different. And the more godly you are, the better you become in working with yourself. So let's look at the yellow person. They're very light and bright people. They hardly ever sit still. They move extremely a lot, and their voice varies as they talk. Normally, people tend to think you're a lot younger than what you are. Yellow people do things because it's fun. They only want to do fun things. And we'll talk about later on how they love to eat. They eat for fun. They're very flowy, soft people. And if they wear jewelry, they don't like it to be too heavy. It might be nice for them, but if it's too heavy, they take it off during the day. They don't necessarily talk loud. They just laugh a lot, and they're very perky people. They can't remember very well, and they say yes very quickly. So they overcommit because there's a lot of them to do because of all the yeses. And when you get a yellow person to actually say, "No, I can't do that," they're going to say it the nicest possible way to you that you actually feel good about it. They're very unorganized, so their personal space is not very neat, but they know where everything is. Let's look at the green person. The green person can't do more than one thing at a time. They also don't like you telling them, "Go and wash the car, do the dishes, and tidy your room." You must tell them, "Go and wash the car. It must be done by 6. And by 6, you give them the next thing to do. If you're a mother of a green child, you'll know that immediately because they just don't like doing that. When you talk to a green person, they will look down before they answer you. This is not because they're lying or not lying. This is because they look down because they get all the information from their emotions. When a green person comes home, whether it's from school or work, they just want to be alone, even before they can eat or do things. They prefer just the quiet of themselves. They're very sensitive for emotions, so they pick up on that very quickly. And sometimes we tend to think that they talk a little bit inside their mouth. Don't talk too loud to a green person. They immediately feel that you are not nice to them and you try and be a bully. And when you talk loud to them, it normally likes go like in their mind, like an electric short. Because they just can't do that. They love to make little heaps of things, books and papers, and then all sorts of stuff, throughout the house. They never sort it out, but they love doing it, and they always say they'll do it one day. One day or the other, they'll get to that. Okay, the red person, they're very, very, they have a quick energy, an upwards energy. They do not like it if people tell them what to do. You don't tell them what to do. They like that little red man on the screen. They like to stand with their hands on their hips, and they can have their head a little bit tilted when they talk to you. They normally talk with a lower pitch, and they can be very, very loud. They're very good at throwing things out. They don't like to store or hoard things. They normally react out of anger. And then they do things. But I want you to understand here that acting out of anger is not necessarily a bad thing, because the anger that you get after you act normally turns then into some or other creative thing. Okay, the blue person, they walk with heavy footsteps, and you can normally hear them sit down. They're very minimalistic people, precise, rigid, structured people with balance. Even if they sit up straight with their back. They don't normally cross their legs. And even if they walk, it's like in a straight line. There's normally a lot more going in on the inside as on the outside. And they really think things through before they do it. And they are the black and white people. You know, there's no in between. It's black and white, and that's it. And they normally the woman that we call the stunning woman. They have porcelain skin, and they're normally very, very stunning, especially if they dress correctly, which we'll get later to. According to your temperament and your type, we're going to help you to know what color to wear, and also what style and things like that. This is not my information. It's all from Carol Tuttle. I'll share her link for you on the WhatsApp group. You can go and look at her stuff. I think she's an amazing woman. She really, really have this whole temperament thing down to the T. It's not a thing that you say, you know, that lady said I'm green, or that lady said I'm blue. Remember, somebody else cannot tell you who you are. You know who you are. And as we go through this, every Monday evening, a little bit more, you'll start knowing a little bit more who you really are. And you'll feel comfortable being that person. Nobody can tell you that. Okay. Now, I want to introduce you to Teresa. Let me just get Teresa here on the line. Teresa, wag net 'n oombliekie. Ek gaan jou nou
Is ek reg as ek op give me the go ahead?
Teresa, jy's online, hoor.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I hope my brain is already switched on in English. My name is Teresa. I'm a life coach, specialized in emotional healing. Well, my story started after school. I did some theatrical craft. That's lighting and sound and makeup regarding the art industry. After I studied that, I went to the police. I was in the drug squad, dealing with prostitutes and druggies and illegal everything, vice stuff. And then I met my husband at the University of Pretoria, and we fell in love, and I went from Pretoria to Kuruman, which was quite challenging. This city girl now in the local country town. Anyways, I was a manager at CNA who helped me a lot with regarding my personal development, and I realized that I can't treat everybody like a criminal. My staff was very helpful regarding that, and I changed, I will say, from a red person to more a green person. So in 2013, my son died in a car accident, which put me on the road to first to help myself. I studied trauma counseling at UNISA, and that leads to quite a lot of other stuff courses that I did, like life coaching and emotional healing for Christians and emotional freedom. So in order to help myself, but also help some of my family members, I received a lot of requests from other people also to help them, and then I started my life coaching business due to that. So yeah, that's what I actually do now. I will talk later on when I'm more ready regarding my path from leaving Christ, leaving Christianity, and testing all kinds of other religions, due to the fact that I feel that God left me during my son's death, but He never left me. But that's a story for a different time. But I think for now, I think for our third session, I'm going to give some info regarding how to start to live a godly life, because my motto was to be regarding Matthew 5, verse 48. Be perfect like your Father in heaven. Although we can't do that, we must try to do that. And I think that's what Magriet's trying to do with this lifestyle course of hers. I think that's what she wants to do. And I'm going to give my input regarding what helped me, like I said, from a red person now to a green person. I received that steps when I was 21, and it's 10 steps that you need to do, and it's now about 45 years later, and I can see and I can say with confidence that I'm starting to do those kind of stuff now, as if it is my own, as if it's part of my personality. So yeah, I think Magriet, I will do that on our next session. Thanks. And over to you.
Okay. Okay, just same. Thank you very much, Teresa. So that is our life coach, and we're looking very forward to what she has to tell us. I've learned a lot from Teresa and the time that I've known her. I know that she gives out very practical help, and that to me is important, to get practical help. I will post the exercise that I have for this week that I also gave you 2 weeks ago, that lady on the group again, so that you can also enjoy your exercise while you do this, while thinking about if you need to be healthier or have a better diet in your life. You know what? A healthy spirit can only be at its best if the body is healthy. And then, of course, if the mind is healthy. I hope you have a very lovely evening, and we'll see you next week.